let's talk about Calendly, a $3 billion success. This Nigerian immigrant who came to US when he was 15 years old founded this company called Calendly. And Calendly is privately valued at more than $3 billion. $3 billion was in 2021. It is probably more than that right now. The name of the founder is Tope, and he is Nigerian. Once I get to the story, you will understand there are many things that he has done right and many things that he has done wrong. But he is one of the richest black billionaire at the moment, and there are very, very few black billionaires in the US. So he is definitely up there, right? So let's talk about his backstory a little bit, and then we can get into the software itself, how they did. So Tope, he moved to US. And he went to university, he graduated, and he started in enterprise sales. So he pretty much just went door to door selling softwares for IBM, for Dell, computer, different things, right? And that's where he learned how to accept rejection, how to keep on going even when people tell you no, right? And when he worked for those companies, he always wanted to have his own SaaS company. So the thing with Tope is that he's not a developer. Okay, so what he does is that he actually finds other people to write the code for him. And the funny thing is that Calendly is also not his first venture. He also had a dating website. He also had an e-commerce company. He also had a different blogs as well about grilling and different things, right? So he was trying multiple different things, but it was just not working. One of the things that he said that he realized was that he was doing to make money. He wanted to do something to help people, but he was doing things to make money for him. So he changed his mindset and he was looking for opportunity, and that's when he found managing a calendar was a hassle. Especially back in the days, in 2012, in 2014, there were not a lot of options. Now there were a few options and he was going into the market with other competitors, but still there were some problems. Still there was room for improvement. He talked to his colleague from his IBM days, right? And he's trying to see if there is a problem. And after 6 months, he realizes there's clearly a problem, especially with the sales team, with different time zones, right? People are working from home. People can now use computer. They can just hop on a call, right? So it is more and more becoming an issue with managing a calendar, going back and forth and finding a right time for everybody that works, especially even a group events, right? If you have 4 or 5 people booking a time, it becomes a hassle. So he says he's going to build a software. Again, he's not a developer. So what he does is that he hires a development team from Ukraine. By that time, he had saved some money and he was trying to hire the developer from Ukraine to save some money. All right. So he uses all of his life saving, which is about $200,000, and he puts it all into building the SaaS. Now, I personally don't think that is the best strategy, to be honest, to put all your money in building a SaaS, but that's what he does. And again, it worked out for him. Now in this phase, what happens is that, again, he's building a SaaS and he's about to launch, but he runs out of money. Okay. He has maxed out his credit card. He doesn't have any life saving anymore. He basically has nothing at this point, right? All he has to show for it is this SaaS. So he runs out of money and he was thinking of charging some money to make some money for himself, but he didn't have any money. So he just decides to give it for free, which is basically he didn't have enough money to pay the developer to set up a billing system. Right? So he just gives it away for free. Like he's like hoping some people would just use it. And which is exactly what happens. People start using it. One person shares to the other person, then to another person. And quickly people start using this Calendly software. Now this happened because, again, he had done the market research. He knew that people needed this software. And now there is some cool growth marketing hacks that he has done within the software that we're going to talk about that as well. But it starts working. People start using it. So as soon as he launched it in 2014, he had 15,000 signups by the end of 2014 already. And he was also now charging money, and he was doing $100,000 in ARR. So in 2014, he launched it. Within a few months, he had 15,000 signups as well as $100,000 in ARR. The thing with the Calendly is that if you have ever used it, it has two sides, right? You have somebody who wants to book a call with somebody. So that is two people. Right? If somebody wants to book a time with me, there are two people, right? Two people are trying to book a call. There's typically more than two people, but two people is the bare minimum. So you have somebody sending a link to somebody else. You have someone sending a calendar link to somebody else, right? So what that did was that created a viral effect. Because the product was free, the first basic version was free, and it had all the things it needed, at least for a single person, right? So they would share the link, and when they booked a call, there will be a Calendly branding. So the other person would actually see, oh, this person is using Calendly. And to be honest, that's how I found Calendly as well, is that somebody shared the link with me and I booked a call basically through that link. So that actually grew their software massively because now their brand was getting out there and people were seeing it. People were seeing it working, right? And people were seeing how easy it is to use. So they were growing 70% year over year with just referrals. And again, they have no paid advertising. They have not done any paid advertising yet. Even to today, they have not spent a single dime on paid advertising. They focus heavily on content and they focus very heavily on referral strategy. So looking at what they have done, they have also grown massively through blog. I think we can see a common theme with many of the software companies or many of the companies that were built in the last 10 years is that they focused heavily on SEO. SEO was the thing. SEO is still the thing, but with AI, it is changing a lot. Many companies back in the days did SEO and the same thing for Calendly as well. People were looking for a solution and they were making posts, they were making blog, they were making content and their content started ranking on SEO. And SEO became the next growth engine for them. First of all, it was a referral through the basic tier. And now the SEO became the second growth engine that really took them up. The third thing that they noticed was the LinkedIn. They realized that many of the referrals were actually coming from LinkedIn. Basically, what was happening was that the working professional were using LinkedIn, right? Many people use LinkedIn. They were sharing their Calendly link on LinkedIn. So they realized that LinkedIn is one of their biggest platforms. That's what people use. That's what their customer use. So they also went heavily on LinkedIn. They are pretty popular on LinkedIn. They have tons of followers and they realized early on that LinkedIn is the place to be for them and for their customers. They have had many challenges over the years. First of all, they did not know how to price the software, right? So that is always a problem when you are actually building a software. You don't know what exact is a good price point. They also had a problem with the enterprise plan as well. When you are a SaaS company, you're good at writing the code. You're not good at building a customer support team. When you have enterprise clients, you also don't provide SaaS, but you also provide service, right? They're paying a lot of money, so they expect a better service from you. So that was quite a bit of challenging for them, which I heard about it on their story. What really helped them grow was pandemic. When COVID happened in 2019, 2020, what happened was that people were now working from home and more people were going online, which means more and more people needed to book a time with each other, right? So COVID was one of the things that blew them up. And that's when it was during 2021, they raised over $350 million with a valuation of $3 billion. So again, that was in 2021. This is 2025. So it is way more than $4 or $5 billion now at this point, and they are still growing pretty heavily. Again, I personally use Calendly, so I think they are fantastic, and I think they have done a great job with their software. So there is a lot of lesson to learn from Calendly. So I hope you enjoy this story. If you want to see more or hear more stories like this, let me know.